By the way, I like the suit, especially like the color blue. It's like when you see those Fantastic Four suit, which are so cool. So as you can see, these characters they have this like blue suit that tends to have this something like a tech on the chest that when they click it, they were like shrunken down into miniature size and now they are tiny. And then what is weird is they are actually surrounded by mud, which is actually insane because if you are tiny and then there is mud, which is actually so sticky, how can you able to escape? And the funny part is in the mud there is a creature who is actually living, but in a normal world you can see it's like a crab, but in this animation you can see now tiny creatures here, not tiny creatures, but we can see like these tiny people who actually like been shrunk down into a miniature size. Now they're actually seeing a crab who's actually like a big land of crabs, and they're surrounded by crabs, which is actually insane. How are they going to escape? I don't know, but I'm hoping for the best because what if that crab decide to grab one of the characters, because one of the characters is actually stuck on the mine, which is crazy. I think they're in the beach. I don't know. Maybe they're gonna use powers if they have, but they're actually surrounded, which is crazy. This scene is actually crazy because as you can see now, tiny characters are actually being surrounded by a bunch of crabs, which like crabs want to eat them, which is crazy. So they had to like hide inside like a bucket and then try to roll it in terms of like running, which is actually nuts. So I think this is a cool way in order for them first to be able to move from the mud area where like crabs are living, which is actually insane. Guys, if you're watching this video and haven't subscribed, please support the channel by subscribing. Tell in the comments what you think and leave a like to this video. Tell me your comments on how these characters can survive, because they already survived, but they already survived bunch of crabs, but the issue now they're miniature size. So are they going to find a way to escape? I don't know. So maybe let's continue watching this animation. You can see if it's gonna happen, because if it's gonna happen, that's actually so cool. But okay, this is so weird because they decide to use the bucket as like a rolling stuff that they can escape. But the issue is the crabs. Sorry, the crabs are still chasing these tiny characters, which is actually insane. And now, as you can see now, the land is filled with crabs and with birds, which is crazy. And now how are they going to escape? Because now they have two predators. First, they have birds with like sharp beaks, and also they have these like they have this like crabs. So this is crazy. By the way, this is called surviving science. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit sick, but yes, this anime is called Surviving Science. So guys, if you want to go and watch this anime, go and watch it at your own free time. It's really amazing, and I know you're gonna like it. So you can tell me in the comments what you think, because your comments are really important. What is that? It's green. Is that food? You're eating grass. Okay, you know what? Even if you're struggling, you don't have to have illusions. Like, since you're so hungry, you have to decide to eat grass, which is actually nuts. Because as you can see, these are humans, right? They're people. But to the extent that you have to decide to eat grass so that you can feel like satisfied in terms of like food, that's actually insane. But the issue is you are near the ocean, you're near the ocean waters. Maybe try to do some fishing in that so that you can grab some fishes and then maybe cook a fish and then eat it. That may be cool, but a random if you're eating random like plants that you found underneath, like not underneath but in the like riverbank or the ocean, you don't know that if it's actually okay to eat that. You can eat that and then it may cause problems. You may feel stomach pains, which is actually crazy. So now they're actually trying to find food. Okay, and the water is actually rising, which is actually insane. It reminded me one of the movie that I was watching like a few weeks ago, which is called what is called? It's called Perfect Storm, where like the fishermen had to like George Clooney and Mark had to struggle in terms of like riding the ship, especially when they're like trying to fish when they are trying to do fishing in the Bermuda Triangle, which is actually insane. So just seeing the water rising, it reminded me for that movie because as you can see in that movie, some people who were like in charge of rescuing people, especially fishermen, some were drowned, which is actually nuts. And here they're trying to find a way and they were able to dig a hole, which is crazy, but insane. But what is funny about this scene is, which is so cool, is they have this suit that you can do anything, you can transform it into like a helmet so that you can be able to breathe underwater. So I think that is actually an amazing because you can survive at any place. Yes. いいですよ、だからここにはいないみたいだし。何も見えないよ。地形の生き物たちはつまり粒子はアナログで。 Okay, I'm wondering. First, we survived like an army of crabs. Second, we survived a really big bird was trying to eat them, which is crazy. Now they are like in the tunnel. I don't know if that tunnel where but all I know is that tunnel is filled with water. Okay, so I'm wondering, in that tunnel, is it a pathway of different predators or something? Because in the tunnel you can find maybe alligators, you can find dangerous fish or shark or something. And since these characters are actually tiny in size now, they're actually not safe. Even though they can breathe underwater because they have this really amazing suit that can enable them to breathe underwater, but the issue is how are they going to like survive? Because as you can see now, they're actually sleeping. What is that? That looks like a snake or something. Oh, another type of fish. Or a worm. Oh, okay, I forget it. Oh my god. I don't. Okay, let me explain this. When I say like they're in the hole, I didn't realize that they were in the hole where like there's worms, earthworms that are living underneath the ground, which is crazy. So now they actually encountered a real worm and now they're actually trying to find a way to escape, which is crazy. The issue is how will they be able to transform back into normal because you can see the oxygen is actually running out to 2%. It was 80% the last time, now it's 2%. How are they going to survive? That's actually insane. And we have shark though. Shark are really cute, but since you're tiny, you're actually vulnerable because I can see we have even octopus. You need to be careful. I'm actually worried. I wish like these characters can find refuge, which is actually safe, but it's weird.
波に乗って泳いで前ら以上だ
What is that danger coming? We have different fishes who are actually dangerous. I think they're trying to find ways to ride one of like lobsters so that they can be able to go underwater or maybe outside the river or outside the ocean so that they can actually seek help or maybe they can transform back into normal. But the issue is the creatures who are actually underneath the sea are actually like hesitant in terms of helping these tiny people who are actually in the blue suits. This is actually crazy, and the issue is they haven't even faced any aquatic like predator, so they can't even climb down because as you can see when they climb down they're gonna find like these worms and stuff, which is actually not even cool. Now they're actually in the like they're on the ground but underneath the ocean, and there's like an army of different creatures who are coming, so I'm wondering what type of creature is that. It's like a big octopus thing, which is actually crazy. I didn't know the surviving science anime is actually funny, and like they have these scenes which are actually so shocking, and when you're watching it you're starting having this like worrisome thought like how are they going to be safe, because everything that they are actually going by they're not going to be safe, which is actually insane. So this is actually insane though. What the hell? One of the characters was just sucked in the hole, which is crazy. In the hole, and as you know, in the hole we have almost like worms and stuff. So one character is just actually trapped inside. They need to find ways to save her or rescue her. This is nuts. And that hole is actually big, and I bet it is actually so deep. But hey, they have to protect, they have to rescue their friend, so they have to now to decide to go inside the hole. Oh shit. And the issues about the hole is actually like an octopus who's actually laying eggs, which is actually insane. How are they going to be able to save her from this octopus, which is actually nuts. Okay guys, we don't have time to waste. You already rescue your friend. She's feeling sleepy, it's okay. This is time for you just to run. Instead, you're actually sitting around, starting like hugging each other like, hey, you know what, I haven't seen you for a lot of days. Dude, you're losing a lot of time. This is time for you to escape. This is the moment for you to dip. We have no time. Instead, you're wasting your time here just, watching and like having this like, hey, and now the octopus will actually like in few minutes she will wake up, because as you can see she's like a giantess octopus who's actually encountering these tiny characters, and she was laying eggs, which is actually nuts. So I'm wondering like how are they going to be able to, what the hell, and the eggs are actually falling them, which is actually nuts. So I bet the octopus is going to be so mad. Like, hey, you're destroying my eggs. But then now they're actually safe. They're outside, but they're still in the mud. So I don't know.
これが最後です。
Don't go far because you can see. Okay, I think this is a cool way of navigating in the like mud area. Yes, I think so. I think that is actually a really cool way to move. But the issue is how can they be able to like transform their like size into like normal? Because now we have catfish who's actually trying to eat these tiny characters, and there's a rope. So who threw that rope? I'm really confused.
それはムツゴロウの卵だねって言ったよな。そこはムツル産卵口だ。それで飛びハゼが始まって。気をつけろ。攻撃態勢。そいつら一体どこから。
Okay, you know what? This is crazy. The first scene we saw like bunch of like crabs. When when these characters were like shrunken down into miniature size, they were like surrounded by a bunch of crabs, and now they're actually surrounded by catfish, which is crazy. And the issue, if you don't know about catfishes, they sometimes they can be able to live on the ground and breathe ground's air for some minutes, which is nuts. And they, since now they're tiny, they're actually about to encounter a Giantess character, but they're so far away. So how are they going to be able to encounter to send a signal? Yes, beat those catfish. Or maybe you can use them for food if the first encounter is crazy.